When people say I'm limiting carbs, I always have questions. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean? What do you mean? Because you can't cut out carbs entirely and have a healthy gut. And here's why. And this is something a lot of people don't understand, so I'm going to explain it. Every single vegetable that helps improve gut bacteria is a carbohydrate. And then there's I've been taking an antibiotic and I didn't take a probiotic while I was taking that antibiotic, and so now I'm just going to hit myself really hard with a probiotic post antibiotic use, and they overdo it and they create SIBO, which creates a whole different problem. And this isn't super common knowledge, but I think it should be. If you have high antibiotic use and then you're trying to rebuild your gut bacteria, number one, if you're taking an antibiotic, a probiotic should be prescribed right along with it. And any doctor who's not doing that in this day and age, knowing what we know, God, that should almost be borderline malpractice in my opinion. But number two, while you're using an antibiotic, you should be using a digestive enzyme, because you're killing off good bacteria and your body can't break down all the nutrients that are getting into your gut. So if you've been on this journey of like, I'm doing the anti-candida diet and I'm doing all these probiotics to help rebuild my gut bacteria after an antibiotic use, and you're not using a digestive enzyme, whoever you've been working with is doing it wrong. They're doing it wrong. While you may have stopped using that antibiotic at 10 days, there are some studies that show that the antibiotic actually stays in the system and in the gut for up to an additional 8 days. And then you're just dumping something heavy duty on top of it. And a lot of people will even go to a probiotic that has a prebiotic and a postbiotic. And I'm like, oh God, please don't do that. You're going to create GI issues. One of the biggest recommendations I give to people is, while you're taking your antibiotic, make sure you're taking Saccharomyces boulardii, because it's going to go in and kind of control candida growth. But then also post antibiotic for at least 10 days, continue taking that Saccharomyces boulardii. Make sure you're taking a digestive enzyme. And post antibiotic use, especially if you weren't using any of that, I would go in and use infant acidophilus. Start with what you would give an infant, because essentially that's now what your gut is. It's a baby gut. Do that for about 2 weeks. Continue taking that, and then give yourself the junior acidophilus, and do that until the bottle is complete. You should have already then completed the bottle of the infant oh my God, words are hard today. Infant acidophilus, and then jump to something that's more appropriate for an adult human. And please don't limit carbs. Your vegetables become so important in repairing your gut health. So important. Low glycemic index fruits, also important in that, because they contain a lot of fiber, and those fibers help feed the gut bacteria. And while you're rebuilding, that's when that digestive enzyme helps your body break down those foods into smaller parts with less stress on the gut, so that your body can actually heal faster. Now, this would be a time where I would avoid any kind of bread, even sourdough, because it is a yeast-based thing, right? So we don't want to add more yeast to the system if we're having a problem with yeast. But I would also avoid certain supplements that are made from things like algae, or that are made from a fermented whatever. And there are supplements out there that are specifically made from something that is fermented, like the supplement nattokinase. I would switch to lumbrokinase, because nattokinase is fermented soy. You're of course going to want to avoid pretty much all alcohols, because all of them are mostly fermented. You might be able to get away with something like a rice-based vodka. But if no one's told you to try the digestive enzyme, try that. And then go back to the infant acidophilus, and then the junior acidophilus, and then the adult probiotics, but add Saccharomyces boulardii.